All right, welcome back. Okay, the Kalista Ann. I've been playing with this thing a little bit. Hoping you guys can see this. I drew it out best I can draw, which isn't real good, but we'll get the point. And this happens to be the back of some 1/4-inch plywood that's later going to convert to Crystal's drawer bottom. So if you look under her drawers in the cabinets, I've got to be careful how I phrase that. You're going to see some magic markers. She'll live with it. Anyway, here we go. All right, I came in at 89 inches. Now, I had the paper. I'll be right back. Jeez. All right. This is all set to where we have a 30-inch. The writing surface is going to be 30 inches from this point to this point, which I showed you the piece of flame birch is going to be 13.5. I think the proportions of it look good. I think we're okay. Now, this thing I told you gets an earless cabriolet. That's what this looks like. This is a little short, but this is where you've got the ear-ish rounded down. Now on the bottom of this, which I don't have drawn in detail, and this is too small, you get the apron when it goes in, you get this transition. And the object of the game is to make this a nice sweep in here. So I got a little bit work on that a little bit. Now, so these lines right here just represent the top and the bottom of the apron, because we're going to have a 3 3/4 inch drawer in it, and that's from here to here. Now this shows a base under here, and this again is our signature bit. What can I say? It just works. But here's the other thing I did. If you look at this base very carefully, the base actually stands out just a little bit more. And the reason is, from this point to there is about 5/8. That's a little much of an overhang just to have kind of floating out there in nowhere land. And particularly on the sides, you don't want to have it that too far out. So by just kicking that base out a little bit, and it's something you never notice, it blends in better with that transition molding. Now, one of the things I changed on this design. On the original, if you look very, very carefully right here, can we see that? Actually, what I did on this one is the top of the, right here, this top came all the way across, and there was an end grain. I later changed that, and I didn't have any transition molding here whatsoever. But rather what I did is I used one board all the way down that made up the uppercase and the side. And then right here was my glue seam to extend it out. That had a good look. All we have is just that one little teeny line. In which case, you know, the top and the bottom in this case would be behind, and same thing in the bottom of the lower case. So you never really seen any end grain. The other thing that we had was, again, if you look, it just had the one board running across underneath the doors. Can you see that? I apologize, it's really blurry. It's the only picture I've got of it. And I could do that. If I do that, actually what I'm going to wind up doing, because I've got an inch space right here between here above the transition molding and the door bottom. If I do that, I'm pretty much going to eliminate 2 3/8 inches. So Monty, you're talking about shortening this thing up. Right now, it's at 89 inches overall. You know, you'd lose 2 3/8 inches, but, you know, and it would make it a little simpler, so it's either or. This gives us 10 5/8 inside. Now again, that's going with the 13.5-inch panel. Now, Monty, you're talking about shortening it. I don't know where you would possibly do it, other than to take it out of the height of the glass. There's just, you know, that's the only option. And even then, you know, again, it depends upon the books and whatever, but you want to keep these glass equal. And, you know, if you're going to store plates in it and whatever, you know, instead of books or something, or you're just going to use it as a display, you could certainly do that, okay? Excuse me. What do you think, Miss Crystal?
Works for me.
Works for you? Got her microphone, she got quiet. What do you think?
I'm just listening right now.
Huh?
I'm just listening.
Well, she's sitting over here with a set of headphones on. Can you hear okay through them?
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm back and forth of what I want to do here. That's a nice detail, but I don't know that it needs to be there. I think, because this is kind of a country piece, you know, it's not a real formal piece like we did the secretary. So I'm really thinking...
You're doing a country piece with cabriolet legs?
Well, it's kind of a high-end country. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, we're using rat tail hinges, and I mean, it's kind of indicative of what would have been, you know, it's not real elaborate.
Okay, just checking.
Then again, I'm the guy that took a pencil post bed, you know, and put arch canopies on it and did flame finials. And, hey, it worked pretty good. You know, sold enough of them, so I guess folks like them. You got one.
Yep.
There you go. You know, just because we ain't got to do it just like they did. We can do what we want.
I know, I just question you calling it a country piece when to me it's much more period style than country. And the legs do that. And what it would be used for, you know, in a period setting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be like an early colonial type of piece. It's something you would find, you know, in a semi-high-end. I mean, this isn't the Newport stuff Goddard and them did, but this is very indicative of kind of some of the stuff you'd have found in early Williamsburg or something like that. I don't care, it still worked. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with this. So if I mean, this is an 8-foot sheet of plywood. You can see what it would look like in an 8-foot room. It gets up there a little bit. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, pretty much right on the money. Well, I used to be. I'm getting older. I don't know if I've shrunk or not. You know, that happens. Yep. Monty said he used to be about 6'8". I think that's what he said. I might not remember exactly correct, but something like that. Anyway, so now here's another detail. Very, very, very important. Right here, now see again, we're going to be using brass hinges things to lid stops to hold the lid. You notice this right here is 7/8, or as thick as you can get it. This one right there. And the reason for, and the drop front is 3/4. The reason for that is, if not, it's going to hit right there. You got to have that little bit of space so when it goes down, it has room to close.
Okay, I have a question then. On where it hinges right there at the bottom of the slant, why would you not make a matching profile so that it fits into the profile you're showing there?
Because
So-
then it's going to show on the front and look really odd. Yeah, but what you're talking about is like a cope and stick door type of thing.
Right.
Because when you just have that profile would be running right across the front of the drop front. And the other thing would be, it would be real difficult to hinge.
Okay, I'm just
Okay,
asking.
but now see, and just so you guys know, now see, this will get a little round over here, so it curls in nice.
So it actually sits above the molding.
It sets, when it's shut, when it's open, it sits above the molding.
Okay,
Right.
just trying to
And see, the other thing that makes this work a little bit better is because when you do this angle, the leading edge here sticks out a little bit. And see, this is actually the angle right here that the middle line here is the angle that the case will be cut on. But see, you've got this point that extends, it'll be rounded, but it still sticks out further, and that kind of corresponds to the line of making the base just a little bit wider.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense?
Yes.
All right. So, I'm still not sure. This is the transition that we did on the secretary. It's just one I use all the time because it just works really well. But I really think we could get rid of that if we wanted to, because it wouldn't hurt it to drop a little bit. 89 minus 2 3/8 is what? Wait a minute, let me think about that a minute.
86 5/8.
Well, actually, it wouldn't do that because I got to have the bottom in here for the door to lift. So that would be about 7/8. So I'm not going to, yeah, something like that. Should come in about 86 something. Yeah. Again, I don't see what's going to make a whole lot of difference. It's a tall piece.
Right.
You know,
To
I
the
mean,
eye,
and it's
when you're
designed to be that way, huh?
when you're standing down below it, to the eye, that 2 inches is not going to matter.
I don't think so either. All right, so let me flip my plywood here a minute, and then we're going to talk. This is the vertical, and I didn't do a whole lot on the horizontal part of it, but I wanted to look at the glass, and remember last week we were talking about, whether the rails and stiles are 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 and all of that. Well, I just kind of roughed it out to kind of get a look at it, so I'm going to show that to you just in a second. Okay, when I'm looking at the horizontal, these little scratch lines in here, this is going to be a face frame style face frame. And the overall of this is 39.5. Here again, we got a 6x12 glass. I think it works. I just don't think you want to get that glass any narrower. And I don't think you want the face frame and the stiles any narrower.
I agree.
Huh?
I agree.
That's new. So I think we got it. I think we pretty much got it figured out. Now, one of the things I can do, and I'm still thinking here, I mean, we've got 3 pieces here. We're going to build this thing, and it doesn't matter whether this molding attaches to the center case or it attaches to the base. Center case makes more sense to me. So we've got base, center case, and the upper case. So I'll tell you how we're going to, let's do this. Let's get the base built, and then we'll play a little bit with that, with some MDF, just to see. I don't think it would look bad either way. And I don't know if making that molding, increasing the height, which again is negligible. I just don't know that. Then again, I do like it. What do you think? Somebody let me know, huh?
I like it.
You like it? You like it that way?
You talking to them or to me?
Both of you.
Okay, I'm just checking. You said,
Huh?
what do you think? And then I was like, oh, wait, maybe that question wasn't for me.
No, that was for you. What do you think?
I like it. And I don't mind the height on it.
All right.
Because that, to me, that's a statement piece. That's a piece that becomes a focal point in a room.
Well, here's another thought. And you know, when I did the crown, let me grab this real quick. Now this is just a piece of plywood I cut plain. This one, the original, just had a flat face crown. And I'm kind of in agreement with Crystal in that while I like the look of it, you'll see up there at the top, I kind of drew in our cove crown. And I think if we do the cove crown, do this transition, I think it's going to kick it up a notch just a little bit. Maybe make it not quite so country as I said. And I think with the cabriolet legs and all, it just adds another neat little element. So, and then again, we got to remember, this thing's in that flame birch, so she is going to scream. Yep, so it's going to be nice. Okay, I think we got it. One of the things I want to do next is, I told you last week where we were looking at the glass, the windows is where we started to say, okay, you know, where's this going to work? Tomorrow, we're going to take a look at Crystal's kitchen cabinets, 2 of them, and see how the glass plays to that. Because again, you know, you're going to be doing a thick shelf in here. Each one of these shelves has got to be fixed so that that mullion covers the shelf. So that's, you know, that's real important. I mean, like I said last week, can you imagine whether it be a kitchen cabinet or a piece of furniture where you've got the mullion between the door, between the glass, and then you got a shelf showing in behind it? Nah, we ain't doing that. That would just be terrible. Okay. And then, one of the things I got to do, I got to play with this cabriolet leg just a little, because I need to make sure it's a little bit different. I got to make sure that when I do this, how far up I come with the radius here, so that it looks nice when it transitions here. Because again, that apron is going to come right into it.
Can't see.
See?
No, we can't.
Huh?
Now we can. We couldn't see there for a second.
Couldn't see there for a little bit? Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
And get that worked out. All right. So, with that said, once we figure this out, we can, we'll figure out the leg. We're ready to start building. Work for me? Work for you?
For me.
Yeah. Get her done.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll be back. When we talk about this leg, this earless leg, I'm going to show you this. This is at home. This is a table I built probably 25 years ago using the same leg. Now this table is made out of cherry and bird's eye maple. Now unfortunately in this photograph the bird's eye is, I think you can see a little bit in the top, the bird's eye is showing up as a yellow, but in reality it's dyed a rose color with that deep burgundy cherry. For those of you who think I don't ever do adverse woods, nah, I do. Anyway, the key to this leg, of course, it's got a slender proportion, but we can work on all that. The key is to get the knee right. So what I want to do, I cut a little bit of scrap here. Now this is 2.5 inches. I think we're going to be fine with that. You don't have to have 12 quarter, you can get by with it. Yeah, as long as you got a strong 10 quarter, something's going to straighten up on you pretty good. And just like any cabriolet leg, you're going to draw it out. Now I'm just doing the knee here. This is not a full leg. Because what I'm making sure of is that I've got what we'll call the peak here correct. So that when I come down, I get a nice shape. If not, then I need to change or alter on my pattern this radius. But again, as you can see, I've drawn it this side and this side. Now I'm going to go bandsaw this, tape it back together, then come back and bandsaw this side, just like any other cabriolet leg. So let me do that and we'll be right back. Well, we decided, saw it, we'll let you watch these glasses. Yeah, there it is. Now I normally do not do that. I normally don't cut this section and then back out because it's a good way to pull the blade off because it was pinching. But I was trying to get, normally I make a cut in here, kind of a relief cut, but I was kind of trying to get one piece to glue it. Never mind. This is some old dry fir or spruce or whatever. They don't cut very well. I got a thunk in my bandsaw. But I think I know what it is. Now this is not the best way of doing this, but it'll do to make a mock-up. You know, we was talking the other week, we was talking about the chair, the corner chair and everything, and some of you guys have been on the forum and, you know, one wants to do one kind of wants to do the other. And so I got an idea. I want to do both of them. Okay. All right.
Well, the purpose of the show, too, is to teach the skills that you can take from one and then go straight to the other.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the shaft on this is, shut up. This camera, these friggin' glasses look like, you know, something.
Elmer Fudd.
Do I?
Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd, something, yeah, I look about like it. Ooh, I do look like Elmer Fudd. I'm gonna go get my other glasses, I'll be back. There we go, is that better? Because I don't want to go hunting rabbits, you know what I mean? I thought I saw a rabbit. I think we all grew up with Elmer. All right, here's what we got to do. We got to make a slight arc from this point down. Now, the easiest way to do this is to simply take a handsaw and just kind of saw down. Man, this stuff is nasty. Kind of get close to the shaft. Don't get into it. Kind of just some different angles. You see what I did? A little angle here, a little angle here. Because I just want to get the worst of this material out right there. Found a decently sharp chisel. I should have one over here somewhere. That'll do. And a mallet. Just kind of get rid of the excess. You just kind of roughen it in. I could saw down a little more, but I'll be all right. I don't want to get too close to that shaft. I don't want to get a chip out in it. Now, once I'm down pretty close, can we see good of what I've got? Then it's a simple matter. Take a good rasp, finish it out. All right, once we have the shape, then we have to back cut it. I know I've shown y'all this before, but this is just kind of a refresher of how we do this. Now, tell you what else I've done too. Got a really good sharp chisel. Now, it's better to have it better secured than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to chisel and film and get it in here like I need it. And again, all you're doing with the chisel is just getting rid of the worst of the meat. All right, that's pretty much how we do it. Then we got to sand and refine it. Now, one of the things I can tell you looking at this, the next thing we're going to do, and I don't think we're going to do it this week, but I've got to refine this cutout for the bottom, because I think on this leg, and looking at it as compared to this leg, I think this top needs to come down some. I think we're too high in here. So I think what I need to do is I need to bring this, down in here somewhere. Drop the top a little bit. I just think there's too much top to it. But the other thing I think, in looking at this, is that this is going to have to be a lot larger. And I think this opening in here is going to have to be radius more. It just looks too bulky. And that's the whole key, is if you look at this, this needs to make a nice flowing curve.
It's hard to see because it's dark, but
Huh?
it is a bit hard to see because
Yeah, it is a little hard
it's
to see
dark.
because it's dark, but I mean, here, wait a minute. You can see it on this corner leg on the table better, maybe. You can
Hold
see
it
the.
still.
Huh?
Hold still. Yeah, that's a little clearer.
Okay, I think we got it. All right, that's kind of, but anyway, that kind of gives you a premise to think about how we're going to be doing this and what it takes to do it. But again, it's not difficult. Okay, but I'm going to show you guys a quick cheat. Well, kind of. Because my buddy Matthew Burak at Classic Designs actually makes this leg. Now the problem is he only does it, I think, maple, cherry, walnut, and oak. I just can't see a Caliste and oak, though. I'm sorry. No, not at all. But let me grab my laptop and I'll pull it up and show you what I'm talking about, and we'll talk about that. Because, in some of your cases, it may be easier just to buy the legs. So we'll be right back. All right, this is, you can just Google tableleggs.com, or you can Google Matthew Burak Classic Designs. But here's the same leg. Now, our leg, as I recall, is what, 28? No, it's right at, I don't remember. Yeah, I'm like 28 1/4. 28 3/8 is what it was. This leg right here, if you look at the top right here, it's a 5.5 inch post. Now what they're telling you is that from here to here is 5.5 inches.
Hold on, we missed that. Here to where?
From top to here.
Okay.
And our apron on this one is 5 3/8, as I recall. About 5.5. But here's what we can do. If you look, and I'm thinking about this, if you look at this table, one of the things that I did right here between the top and bottom of the drawer, on this drawing, I've got it set up as 7/8. We could simply reduce that to 3/4, and we would be fine, which is going to give us another 1/4 inch. So and if you get that, we can also reduce this molding right here a little bit from 7/8. So we can get close. I mean, you might be on the writing surface, you might be 30 1/8 or something like that, but again, it's not going to be critical. It's not going to be an issue. So that leg would work. Now here's a 31 inch leg with a 6 inch. No, that's not going to do it either. All right, but this one right here would work. And let me take a look, just so you know. Okay, it's available in cherry, red oak, soft maple, and black walnut. Now, cherry walnut would make a beautiful. The walnut one is, okay, 83, and the cherry is $67 a piece. But I'm just showing it to you as an alternative to this. What'd you tell me?
I mean, it's a shortcut.
Huh?
It can be used as a shortcut.
Well, if you don't have a lathe and you really want to build it, buying the legs is an option. I mean, I don't know if Matthew still has them or not, but he used to have. I don't see him anymore. He may. I don't know.
You used to have a clock that told you were out of time, dude.
I'm out of time. All right. Yeah, he used to have turning blanks and leg blanks, but I don't see that anymore. But anyway.
But anybody can get on his website and look around.
Yeah, and I know Bob has got some 12/4 cherry, and if I'm not mistaken, he's got some good 10/4 flame birch. So, just saying. The only thing I'm looking at with that walnut, I mean, I went and got walnut for Crystal's tabletop, and I got it from C.P. Johnson.
Island, or countertop, right?
For the countertop, yeah, for the countertop. And number one, it wasn't too overly cheap, but I was kind of looking for the good stuff. But nevertheless, I had a dickens of a time trying to find it, and everybody out there that's buying walnut or anything to do with walnuts all coming back with the same thing. The stuff is very hard to find anymore, and it's out the moon. I mean, Bob can probably get on the forum and explain why that is. I'm just saying it is. Kind of. I'll catch y'all next week.
I'm sorry, I have real editing issues if it's too long, so. Catch you later.
Catch you later.